Greetings, my name is Ava Files, and this is my video presentation. So, I want to talk about my experience at my PWI high school, sharing the concept of the Happy Negro from Even the Rat Was White by Robert Guthrie. So, I attended again, predominantly white institution during my senior year, especially. I was involved in a lot of leadership opportunities on campus. So, being president of multiple clubs and generally viewed as like the golden child, the token black girl, respectful, studious. So, I was celebrated a lot by a lot of the administrators and very much trusted to lead different school wide events. So, things changed when a video got leaked by a group of white students who were saying the N word. They didn't get expelled. But there was a lot of racial tension on campus, and so I felt the need to really start getting into helping more of the black students and gather us together and to respond to the hurt and frustration around the school's response. We created the Black History Month celebration within the black community. So I helped organize poems, art, performances by black and brown students inspired by black figures. And that was my role, which through that helped me understand truly the how entrenched the culture of the school was in internalized racism because the approval process um, differed so greatly from when I started out with Valentine's Day events and teacher appreciation to something that was very clearly for black and brown kids. It took weeks instead of days that it used to, and the same administrators who were so open with talking to me and explaining things kind of changed their mindset. So I think that really goes to show that even though those materials weren't inappropriate in any way, it was still an issue that our presentation discussed racism openly and slavery and oppression, which we learn is the greatest form of inhuman condition. So we didn't soften that reality, which I think made people uncomfortable. And from Even the Rat Was White, that goes back to Robert Guthrie's illustration of drapetomania and how Dr. Samuel Cartwright really perpetuated that diagnoses of enslaved Africans. In page 115, about recognizing resistance as mental illness, but that is a normal human response. And also how slave owners were confused as to how people who were treated well could be so rebellious. So that assumption that black people should be content and obedient and grateful and accepting of these terrible circumstances has really been translated into more modern times now when I just don't people are just so confused when I'm just not the happy person anymore when I stand up for what I believe in. So tying back to our textbook, I think that really did demonstrate the African-centered psychological lens or experience, how realizing that we need to be more vocal about these issues and gathering all the black students together where we prioritize not just being celebrated when we go with ideas that don't challenge anything or challenge the institution, but going with what Guthrie describes as advocating more openly and resisting, truly running away in the metaphorical sense. So I think that was just that my advocacy making people uncomfortable really disrupted those expectations. And I think that really does align with the African centered perspective of resistance, of defiance. And then I guess for a critical reflection, connecting this back,